welcome to 9 on the Positive Side. I'm Courtney Courtwright. Thanks so much for joining us. A man from Eastern North Carolina's life was forever changed by one interaction. Someone he met at a church in Greenville decided she was going to save his life, and now they're bonded forever.
I knew from an early age, I would say, I don't know, 5 or 6, when my parents could tell me and I could really understand what was happening.
Tyler Lumley was born with Alport syndrome.
Essentially, it crushes your kidneys, it prevents the function from working, and then your blood just starts to more or less feel cruddy. And you can no longer filter out anything.
He never thought finding a new church would help him find a cure.
Before my wife and I got married, we were looking for a church. Just a coworker out of the blue was like, well, I used to come to the Memorial Baptist Church. Haven't been in a while, but it was always good to me.
And helping the church with arts and crafts will connect him to his perfect match.
That's how it got started.
It's where Tyler met Tammy Ivy and how Tammy learned Tyler needed a kidney.
I was on the wait list for 4 months, but before that I ended up going on dialysis.
So Tammy,
In my quiet time, I came across this verse.
decided to donate one of hers.
It said if something happened and I didn't make it, it's a win-win. You know, he would get to live and I've already lived, and I would get to be with Jesus. Nobody loses in that.
After months of waiting, Tyler got the call.
She just said, we have a match for you. Can't tell who it is yet, but I'm sure she'll let you know shortly.
And Tammy got the call too.
She said, you're the match. I lost it. And so then I went and told my boss that I was a match. Couldn't believe it.
Her donation
Wouldn't even know that I am a kidney less than I was.
saved Tyler's life.
My whole body just felt like it was a new person. It's in my heart, I feel it. We're kidding.
Yeah.
From a simple prayer
God still answers prayers. Just tell him what you need. He knows what our wants and needs are.
to an answer.
I sit here today very healthy and have a 1-year-old boy, and so we're growing a family.
As for Tammy, she is also healthy and had no complications. They're both encouraging people to donate. For more information about this story, head over to our website, WNCT.com. It's truly inspiring. NASA astronaut and Jacksonville native Christina Cook visited Eastern North Carolina. She went to her old high school to talk to students about space travel and beyond. Now on your side, Sarah Gray-Barr has this story.
I caught up with NASA astronaut and Jacksonville native Christina Cook. She tells me this is actually her second visit to White Oak High School, but first in person. Her last visit was virtual with her video chatting from the International Space Station. Cook told me she always enjoys the chance to come back home to Jacksonville.
You guys ready to talk about space a little bit? Yeah. All right.
Cook grew up in Jacksonville. She says her love of the stars started here.
I loved looking up through the pine trees in my backyard at the night sky. I loved anything that made me feel small. These things made me ponder the size of the universe.
And she carries with her lessons she learned in Jacksonville.
I credit Camp Lejeune. I grew up around so many different people from all over the world, so many different languages, so many different ways of being. That was one of the coolest things that I took with me from Jacksonville, and I'm so thankful for it.
She talked about working with a crew, her participation in the first all-female spacewalk, and what training for Artemis II looks like.
We are in the thick of training right now. We get to do awesome rescue training. This is us training. Again, we're using that big pool we normally use for spacewalk training.
Students say they left feeling encouraged.
It was really cool. It was like very interesting learning about everything she did in space. And then when she was talking about seeing the Outer Banks from space, that was like the most interesting part for sure.
She also answered questions from students. Does space get lonely? How to mentally prepare for isolation.
Every time I had that feeling of, I just want to leave, I just want to get out of here, this is no good, I would replace it, and I would think about something that was there that I might never have again.
She also passed along parting words for students and those dreaming of the final frontier.
Absolutely anything is possible. And the second thing is NASA's missions are for everyone. We want everyone to feel part of our missions.
Cook's Artemis II mission is scheduled for September of 2025. We'll continue to follow her journey on air and online at WNCT.com. In Jacksonville, Sarah Gray-Barr, 9 on your side.
And speaking of students, ECU is offering a new class for the fall semester, and it revolves around a popular music star. I'm sure you've heard of her. It's going to be all about Taylor Swift. It's called English 1500 Taylor's Version. It has more than 100 students already enrolled with a wait list to get into class. The students will be focusing on literary elements embedded in her lyrics and what it means to be a celebrity.
We're going to be really looking at celebrity studies kind of as a model for how do we understand Taylor Swift and her career. Following allegory, following metaphors. They will be curating song lists and have to kind of defend their choices about why they are tracing particular themes through particular songs.
The course will also focus on Swift's economic impact and how other brands have been able to market off of her marketing. Over in West Virginia now, a Berkeley Springs woman is celebrating her 100th birthday. Let's take you to her party. Eleanor Mock is highly thought of in her rural community in Western Virginia's Eastern Panhandle. She leads a charitable life, helping feed the hungry and raising money through her church to fight heart disease. Mock says the key to living a long, happy, and healthy life is to live in the country.
So if you can live on a farm or out in the country, you're doing okay. City people aren't as healthy as us ones that live out in the farm or out in the country.
Her friends and family celebrated with her and threw her the perfect party. A property is up for sale in Morganton. Next, more on the space and who the owner is that might get your attention. Would you pay $6 million to live in Caldwell County? A property just outside of Morganton is hitting the market, listed at $5.9 million. But it's who owns the property and what it's used for that's the bigger story here. They are the creators of a popular childhood arcade game. Morgan Francis reports their passion is with horses.
An hour and a half from Charlotte along the Johns River and in the shadows of Grandfather and Table Rock Mountain is this privately owned farm with rolling hills paid for by the popular arcade game called Whack-A-Mole.
I did not know the whole Whack-A-Mole connection, and they mentioned it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. and then all of a sudden I mentioned it to somebody else, and somebody said, oh my gosh, what a great story.
We thought the same thing. Joyce and Bob Casada created Whack-A-Mole and manufactured it in their own facility in Florida for years.
It's Bob's Space Racers, and they are the world's largest arcade amusement game manufacturer out there.
But truth be told, Whack-A-Mole is what the family did. Horses are what they love.
People looking for horse farms are not finding it on Zillow and Realtor.com.
Julie Breedlove is a listing agent for their 211-acre property called Double C Acres in Morganton.
The mares that they've produced, 2 of those mares have been the most winningest mares in the history of the American Quarter Horse and American Paint Horse Association.
Over the years, their horses have earned 70 American Paint Horse Association titles and 32 American Quarter Horse Association titles. Think of it as producing a Tom Brady or Michael Jordan in their industry. All of them bred here at Double C Acres, a property designed with horses in mind, with some of the highest quality equipment in the industry.
Each stall has an exterior door as well, our Lucas Equine equipment designed for cross ventilation, again, the health of the horse. Stalls all have stall mats, they have automatic waterers.
The equestrian complex has a 21-stall barn with 2 foaling stalls and 11 additional stalls at the adjoining arena. 70 acres of fenced pastures allow the horses plenty of room to roam. The barn has its own office showing off the trophies their horses have earned, and there are 2 modest homes on site.
If you're a horse person and you're equestrian, you're spending all your time outside. So typically you're not going to see a mansion on a property like this.
Many of the features perhaps only horse people would appreciate, such as cement-filled cinder blocks enforced with rebar in case the horses give it a kick. But the property itself is suitable for anyone who enjoys the outdoors. With miles of trails, wildlife for hunting, 1,600 feet of riverfront, and breathtaking views of the Blue Ridge Mountains.
They've hosted several weddings here. It's a beautiful facility for weddings with the mountains in the background.
The family has moved their horse breeding business to the Lone Star State, and they're hoping the next owner of Double C Acres will enjoy it just as much as they have for decades.
There's just so much he did to this barn that if you see it, and when you see it, you're going to just be amazed that it is truly over 25 years old.
And that was Morgan Francis reporting. A thrift store dedicated to helping those in need. Next on 9 on the Positive Side, how you can get involved. And this week's Connecting the Community, we're checking out Enjoy Thrift Store in Greenville. They opened here in February with a mission to give back to those in need.
Enjoy originally started, it was a collection of Christian believers that saw a need with the deaf community at the time and wanted to try to empower the deaf community. And they started researching, and the founder, one of these Christian men, had experience with thrift stores. So I said, well, maybe I could look at opening a thrift store to help fund the deaf community. So they started up a thrift store, a small little local store, and it kind of grew from there. They have one in Rocky Mount, Goldsboro, Tucson, Arizona, and now Greenville. But it's a thrift store. Thrift store is a thrift store at the end of the day, but what makes it is what you do with the proceeds. And all of our proceeds outside of our cost gets funneled back to that deaf community called DOOR and then local charities here in Greenville.
How does it feel to give back?
That was a selling point to me. I mean, I don't want just a job. I want a job where I feel like I'm making an impact, and that was Enjoy's heart and the leader's heart. They want to make an impact, not just internationally, but locally. To be part of just these local ministries and watching them grow and know that every dollar we make is actually helping the lives of other people and other ministries. I love it.
So once you step into the doors of Enjoy, what can someone find there?
The one in Greenville, we try to go upscale. It's not just your average thrift store, I like to say, but it's kind of upscale. Got the building, we started everything from the ground up. We have a friendly staff that will greet you at the door. And it's just the atmosphere is what separates it from other thrift stores. I like to create an atmosphere where everyone's welcome. You may see us praying for customers or praying for each other because we are a Christian environment. And I want to impact not just people so they come in and get a treasure or get a deal, but help them really see that the treasure is in them.
And you just opened in February.
Good first week, new, up and coming, but now we're kind of settling in now. We've been open a few months and really making the push to just let the community know we're there and what we do and how we're impacting the community as well. And we're also built off volunteers and donations.
And that was going to lead me into my next question. Perfect segue. So donations, how can somebody help Enjoy if they like to get involved?
You can donate at the store. You can pull around to the back of the shopping center. We're at the shopping center, the complex there. You pull around, you'll see the bright blue doors that say Enjoy. Someone will meet you there at the door. We'll take your donations that way. We also have what we call Stuff a Truck, which is a new concept where we'll literally take the truck to you. We'll give you time to make an announcement like the Enjoy truck is going to be at the location.
Where are you located? Where can they find you?
Don't want to forget that. We're located at 3700A South Memorial Drive. It's right there in the shopping complex, literally right beside Food Line. You can't miss it, but come in and experience it. We like to, someone once described it as not just a thrift store, but it's where marketplace and ministry meet, and I thought that was the best description I could ever ask for. A place where you can be at your job, but at the same time create that atmosphere of ministry, which is true to our heart.
Let's just say, somebody wants to donate their time. Can they do that?
Volunteers are definitely key. So you could be the stay-at-home mom or the college kid that needs maybe a credit for volunteering or just want to get out and be engaged and make an impact in your community. You can actually come to Enjoy, and the beauty of volunteering, you can do it at your own hours, an hour a day, all day if you want. It's really up to you. I just want to make the community know that we're out there. We're here, we're in town, we're not going anywhere. And we want to make a long-lasting impact on the community, and not just as a thrift store, but we go back to the community. We'll serve any way that we could help other ministries. We'll show up and we'll help any way. So come see us at Enjoy, share us, follow us on social media, and when you come in the store, say hello. If you need prayer, let us know. We want to be an encouragement to the community.
If you have a story idea, send it on over to us. We want to hear about the positive things happening where you live. Just email newsdesk@WNCT.com. You can also reach out to me on social media. A caboose has found its way to one North Carolina farm. We'll climb aboard next. A man in Stokes County is living out his childhood love of trains by converting his family farm into miniature train rides, playgrounds, and produce that you and your family can enjoy. As Chad Tucker shows us, he's bringing up the rear by going big with a real-size caboose.
So, why a caboose?
Who wouldn't want one?
Who wouldn't want one?
The caboose itself weighs 55,000 pounds. And from coupler to coupler, it's 44 feet long, and it was 10.5 foot wide.
Jason Hunter is living so many kids' dreams.
You really love trains.
I love them. Always have, from this high to this high. So, climb aboard, Chad.
Yep, he brought this caboose.
This is inside of a caboose.
Yeah, it sure is.
Down home to the family farm.
Right here is where they had the stove to keep them warm in the winter. But when we opened the door, I mean, I was surprised how good it all was on the inside.
He's gonna give y'all a tour.
And here's the refrigerator right here. And right here is where a stove would have been.
Where kids can now get an up-close view.
It's really dark in there.
And that's not all. You can even climb aboard the Mountain View Central Railroad. This miniature train ride, it'll take you around his family farm.
Oh, that's so nice. Look at that view.
Filled with stops at playgrounds, gem mining, a produce stand, and in addition to that caboose, antique tractors.
90% of it's John Deere and some others is Case and Ford.
Antiques he collected with his late grandfather, someone he thinks about every day.
We go around buying old tractors and having a good time doing it. I told Daddy the other day, I said, if Grandpa was here, what in the world would he say now? He'd say, just keep right on going, you're doing the right thing.
Isn't that pretty cool?
Yes!
Jason is doing the right thing.
I know another guy stopped the other day, said it's one over towards Walnut Cove, and they said, you ought to go over there and try to see if you can buy that one. I said, well, I might just do that.
Everybody wave.
Because along the tracks of life, he's helping bring smiles to the kid in all of us.
It's a challenge every day farming.
In King.
Can't believe you ain't getting cold.
Looking for Roy's folks.
Working with your family, your father, your mother.
Chad Tucker.
Can't get no better.
Fox 8 News.
Now you got a caboose in the field.
That's right.
Thank you so much for joining us for 9 on the Positive Side this weekend. Here's a therapy dog helping out a police department in California. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you next time.